Good morning and happy Sunday to you. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Bob Pace, your host, and I have a secret. How do you fight CPS and get your children back? I want to welcome everybody for this live podcast from Southern California. It's brought to you by Vincent W. Davis and Associates. It's a law firm based in Southern California that has all areas of expertise law. You found me by looking through Facebook, Fight CPS, and I'm broadcast on YouTube using the SteamYard application. I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week, from 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour, and 7 o'clock at night, Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour. Now, the only exception to that is on Sunday. I come on about a half an hour later because there's another prior podcast that's happening. So we want to give some room for that podcast. But anyway, I have 14 shows, and I first invite any of you that'd like to be a guest on my show to email my producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And you just tell her what day, at what time, morning, evening, Monday, Wednesday, whatever time or date you like to be on the show. And she'll take care of the arrangements and tell you the ground rules and how to get on the SteamYard application. And if you want to show your face, that's fine. If not, that's okay. If you're a couple, that is good too. Because I had a couple last night. I had a mother and her son. And her son was much older than 18, but he had trouble with his kids in CPS. His mother and her son were trying to help it out. Now, another way to be on this broadcast, if you like, is to call in right now to 626-698-0990. That's my office number. That connect me up with my phone. I put you on speakerphone. Your picture won't be seen, but your voice will be heard. And you can talk about your CPS case. We can help out other people that text messages. Now, the third way to interact is to text a message. And what you want to do is you just put your name and the city and state. Now, I do have people from outside the U.S. So far, it's been Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, and Ghana. And everybody is welcome because everybody has a CPS story or a matter to reach here. Looks like I got my call already. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi.
This is your first time calling in, Sylvia?
Yes, it is.
Glad to meet you. And what part of the world are you from?
Texas, United States.
Yeah, Texas. And are you from what city?
El Paso.
Okay, El Paso. I don't think we've had anybody from El Paso. We've had San Antonio, and we've had Houston and Dallas, but not El Paso. So you're pretty close to the border, right?
Yes, I am in the Juarez.
Wow. You must be going through a lot down there.
Yes.
Yeah. Before I let you talk, I got one more thing I got to tell my audience here. If you guys are listening, we have Sarah from San Antonio, Texas, going to tell about her story. But one of my first rules I tell everybody is you need to have an attorney. You're probably asking, well, I have my public defender. Well, that's not really an attorney. He is a lawyer, and you're supposed to be represented by, a lawyer in court for legal matters, but he won't be on your side. His caseload is 20 or more, and he'll just do the easy way out, so it won't benefit you. But we do have an attorney here who is well experienced in family law, is what you need is family law, handles dependency and juvenile. His name is Vincent W. Davis, and he has been fighting CPS for years and has gotten children back. And he's also sued CPS and won cases. He is a trial attorney, and he's offering right now a 30-minute consultation that he can talk about the strategies of fighting CPS and getting your kids back. And
Okay.
that is only, he's doing a special at $49.99 right now. He also has a podcast. I have Eva Aguilar just came into the room. And good morning, Eva. I forgot about what city and state you're from. We have one person. Anyway, let me take down my phone number here so I don't have more people calling. Let me see here. Okay. So I recommend all you out there, if you like to consult an attorney and talk about the strategies, you can call into our office at 888-888-6582 and tell them that Bob Pace sent you and schedule your time with Mr. Davis. And he'd gladly help you out. And if you like him, you may retain him. He does cases in Southern California, where his law firm is, but he also does Northern California. We had people from Visalia last night, and he does cases in all the other states, so he would work there. Okay, Eva's from California. And good morning there, Sarah Martinez. Oh, I'm talking to you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You wrote there. Okay, so I was just saying a little blurb, helping people out there, because let's say your heart's going bad and you need heart surgery. Are you going to use a lay person? Are you going to do it yourself? No, you get a professional. And that's what I'm trying to give the analogy. CPS is a nightmare. It's spaghetti. It's like Alice in Wonderland has fallen in a rabbit hole, and she has many doors to choose from and many directions to go. And it's havoc. It is so havoc. It's a spider spinning a web to trap you. They will abuse parents. They're against parents, and they will take your kids, even if they're not in imminent danger. It seems automatically, if there's an allegation, they believe it's true, and bingo, they put your kids in foster care. And the whole reason why they're doing that is because of the money they're making. They make a lot of money, like off the government, $20,000 or more per child, per kid, per month. That's a lot of money, but they're in there to make the money. And I know that from talking to the social worker and also myself. I've been fighting for 14 years, and I had my 3 children stolen. They weren't taken, they were stolen. And 2 of them returned, 1 didn't. But they do child trafficking, and they do it legally by putting these kids into foster care. And I, have been seeing across the 100 or more people that I've talked to that have the similar story, where CPS is against the parents. CPS lies. They're very deceitful. They use the police to do their dirty work, and they dupe the police to do a lot of things in there. So with further ado, I'd like to have Sarah Martinez from El Paso, Texas, to talk about her CPS case. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. On February 6th, I was actually arrested for injury to child. My stepson claimed that I had choked them. At the time, February 9th, CPS came to visit me, and I've been dealing with CPS since 2007. I've only had 1 case, got my kids back, but numerous calls of allegations of abuse, but everything has been unfounded. February 9th, I told the caseworker I did not want her talking to my kids. She had to wait till I got out, because I already know how my kids are. They lie, they exaggerate. Not just that, but how CPS works. She left on February 13th. She came back again. Another caseworker, I told her again that I wasn't going to talk to them until I got out, and that I didn't want them at my home. I got released on February 15th, and when I got released, my kids had called and told CPS that I was at the house, which wasn't true. and they were at the school at the time. February 16th, CPS went to the court and asked for a temporary immediate removal of the kids, even stating that they were in danger. Their claims were that I was very abusive, that I was abusing them, I was treating them bad, I had mental issues. So on the 16th, they got granted a temporary order. Went to my house, told my husband. My husband told him that he wasn't going to release the kids to them. They let him drive off with the kids and waited till the 20th to pick up the kids. This is already them having custody of the children.
How old is the child that's making allegations against you?
He's 13. Well, it's a 13-year-old. There's a 12-year-old, and there's a 14-year-old, and there's a 16-year-old.
Wow, they're almost all teenagers. Jeez.
Yes, sir. Yes, and a 17-year-old. My son, 17-year-old.
So you have five children?
Yes, I have 3 of mine and 2 stepchildren that I raised. Their mom passed away when they were 3 and 6 months.
Okay, so you have a 17, a 16, a 14, a 12, and what's the other one?
13.
13. Okay, 13, 12. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and so are all the children against you, or is it just one, or what?
Yes. No, they were mad. I actually left the house because I felt like they were unappreciating me. They were taking me for granted. My kids were being very rude, disrespectful. So I kind of left the home for like a month. I wanted them to know what it was to be without a mom, just to understand, like, not to take people for granted. But that kind of backfired on me, where they turned against me and they thought that I abandoned them.
Wow. What did your husband do?
He actually was against me too. He actually he thought bad about me to CPS.
Oh boy.
And that's not the worst part. But yeah, they all talked bad about me. They all made it seem like I was a monster. And this is just them and my kids claiming and CPS listen to them.
Now, you said you were arrested. Were you arrested by the police?
Yes, I had called the cops on the 5th of February because my kids had taken my phone and they didn't want to give it to me. And my stepson had bit me. And I had told my husband, well, I'm going to press charges on him. That day, the officers took 4 hours to get to the house. So by the time they got here, my son had fresh scratch marks on his neck, and he told them that I had bit him. And they arrested me instead of taking him, because they believed him. They believed him more than me. They said just a little bit of probable cause is all they needed.
Okay.
But I come to find out that my husband told me that my stepson admitted that he lied and that he did it himself just to get me in trouble because he didn't want to get in trouble. So I was in there for 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not the worst part. I got out and I was upset with them or my husband I thought something was wrong, but with CPS and everything, I dealt with them before, but I just never thought it to the next step. On the 20th, CPS went to the school and picked up my 2 daughters, 14 and 12 years old. Took them to a foster care in El Paso. On the next day, they put my girls on a plane and shipped them to Laredo, Texas, 9 hours away from where I live, and did not tell me until the 23rd of February that they were out of the city where we live at.
Well, what about the father? Now, wait a minute. If all the problem is you, why aren't the kids staying with the father?
Because 2 days later, somebody called in on my husband and put him like he was allowing the abuse to happen.
Oh, boy. Double jeopardy.
Yes.
Yeah. Man.
Yes. So
and then why did they have to fly him 9 hours to another city? Why couldn't they give him... and also, isn't there a safety plan that you attended with the social workers?
They never provided that to me. They never contacted me. When I got to jail, they never contacted me. CPS never got a hold of me. They never talked to me. They just filed the courts. They never came and told me this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to have. This is what's going to happen. This is your options. Nothing. I didn't find out till the 23rd that my daughters were out of the city and then in the foster home. Wow.
They worked that fast. Boy.
Yes. Yes, they did. And little do they know that my 14-year-old, she had emotional disturbance, so she self-injures herself. She causes bruises. She'll burn herself. She'll lie with no remorse. I have medical records. I have all of that. The school also told CPS that there was no claims of abuse or outcries. The kids were fine. Neighbors also told him the same thing. The only thing that CPS based on was the kid's statement. And they used nobody else as witnesses.
Wow.
Yes. And the worst part was that on March 1st, I got it dismissed. The judge said that they should have never been granted that order, the 262, because it was defected, and got dismissed on March 1st. It was a Friday at 9:30 in the morning. CPS was supposed to return back my girls that day because the judge ordered them. They gave me so much excuses that they waited till March 4th to refile again and not return my daughters, with just saying that there was no flights because of the spring break. And now I have the next hearing on April 2nd, the last one, to prove to them CPS is adamant of me doing services, and they kind of intimidated my husband to give up his rights. And he just barely found that out 2 days ago, that they made him voluntarily give up his rights because they told him that the kids were going to get taken away from him.
Oh, no, you should never give up your rights. You should never give up.
And he did, sir. He actually did. And this is a father that raised his boys when the mother died. He raised his 3 boys by himself. And right now, he has to be supervised because CPS says that he's a bad dad.
Now, why is he a bad guy? I guess he made false allegations against you, but what?
Yes, my daughter recanted. My 14-year-old daughter already stated to CPS that she lied. She was mad at me. She's been dealing with them. Can I go back to my mom? They've been gone from me for a month and a half. I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
And CPS is still like, no. We want this and we want that. But I had told them Texas passed a new law that last year in September that if a parent refuses the CPS worker to talk to the child at home, they can't go against the parent's wishes unless they have a court order. Well, this caseworker went against my wishes and talked to my kids after I told her not to talk to them at my house 3 days later.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen my girls, and right now it's divided. I'm not perfect as a mom, but I never thought this could happen. And this is the worst feeling in the world, to be ripped away from my kid and knowing it's all lies. And it's terrifying, and I wish nobody could go through this. And this is something ugly that I have to prove that I'm not a bad mom, so I can keep my kids back, or I lose them because they're going to terminate my rights.
You haven't given up your rights to now. Do you have legal custodies of your 2 adopted kids?
No, I just power of attorney, but no, I was just, it was just power of attorney. The only one that had it was my husband.
So when your husband married you, he brought his 2 kids, but he never gave you legal rights to them.
No, we never thought of doing that. We never thought of maybe this would ever happen, but no, he never did. So we've been together for 10 years.
Wow. Now that your husband, what have they found that your husband's so awful now with the kids? What's he being accused of?
They're just saying that he allowed me to, because they said that he bailed me out of jail, that's why he enabled the situation. But the only reason why he bailed me out was because he said that I was the only one that could confront CPS and handle them. But it was already too late that they had already talked to them, and they went up against and got the court order. He was mad at me, and he was like, you're the only one that can fix this. He doesn't hold really good under pressure. He gets, after losing his wife, he gets panic attacks. He gets scared, like he doesn't know what's going on. He shuts down. And this is what happened with CPS. They saw him vulnerable, and they took advantage of it.
What do you want?
And they closed his case already. They closed his case.
Well,
because
how can he close the case when you've not agreed to have anything signed or anything?
Exactly. I don't know how CPS is getting away with this. There's so much defective in the statements, and there's so much things they did illegally. My daughter's recanting, and it's just like they have a bad badge, and they have the power to do so. I mean, with the judge and everything. And it's just, this is not the first time these kids have lied. I mean, like I said, I've only talked to the caseworker, not even just once. And that's only to tell me that my daughters were out of the city of El Paso. That's it. Other than that, no, nothing else.
Have you gone to a supervisor or the director?
Yes, I emailed them and told them that what they did was illegal, that what they did was against my parental rights, and they just told me that we had to wait for court. We have court on April 2nd.
That's this April 2nd, right?
Yes, so next week.
Right. Do you have a plan that's ever been sent to you about what you're supposed to do?
Nope, nothing like that. They never
Did they
came and
did they
told me about
talk about
safety plan, the parental plan.
did they talk about family reunification?
Nothing like that, no.
So
And the case represents Albany Hopper, and she won't come up to me. She won't say nothing to me. I mean, she knows where I live. She knows where I'm at. I mean, this could have been handled so differently, but to put my girls on a plane and ship them out of here without even letting me know, I think that's even worse.
Well, why can't they do a placement in San Antonio?
They said there was no foster homes here in El Paso to take kids in.
Well, what about the family members they could stay with?
They never gave me the chance to provide any of that. They never told me what they were going to remove them. They never told me that this was going to happen at all. That's kind of messed up. Because if they would have told me, I would have provided them with friends, family, or something. Yeah. But they never told me that they were removing the children from the home.
Now, can you afford an attorney?
Yes, I do have a Miss Tracy. My attorney is Miss Tracy. She actually is on it with them. I didn't find out to her until the day we had mediation that they had railroaded me with the girls. When they should have been back with me, they were just.
Was she a public? Is she a public defender?
No, my sister got her.
Okay, but she's supposed to work for you. You're the ones that are paying her.
Yes, and I'm the one that's been providing her with the evidence. Everything that is wrong, I've told her. I sent it to her. I provided her. Basically, because I went to school for paralegal, so I've done everything that she needs. I've handed it to her to tell her, this is wrong. This is not right. This shouldn't happen like this. I'm not leaving no room for error. I mean, this is either I lose my daughters next week or I get them back.
Okay,
and their dad is out of the picture. Their real dad is out of the picture. So my girls have nobody.
Now, wait a minute. Now, the dad that had the two boys, that's his boys, and then he's the father of your three kids.
No, he's the father just to the boys. We don't have kids together, me and him, and I just have my three kids.
Oh, where's that father?
The girl's dad, they can't find him. They said the last time they saw him was he was out of Mexico, and they haven't seen him in months.
And he doesn't want to help out or be a part of the family.
He hasn't. No, he hasn't shown up. He hasn't. They tried looking for him, locating him. There's no signs of him anywhere.
Oh wow! So you're a single mother with three kids. Meet this guy who had two kids, and you two decide to put a family together. And now your kids are saying that you're a bad mom. Your husband says you're a bad mom. Then your kids are taken because you're a bad mom. Now, what makes you a bad mom? What is the behavior that is making you a bad mom?
I don't let them do whatever they want. I don't let them go out with their friends. I don't let them drink. I don't let them stay out late. I don't condone behavior being disrespectful. Put together.
But what about neglect or abuse? What neglect or abuse are you doing to your children?
I'm not doing anything, and that's the weird part. That they have a home. They have a home. Their school. They have clothes. They have food. Just because I left for that month because I wanted them to feel it, it's because I'm a bad mom now.
Well, that's neglect. So, what has CPS charged you with?
They're saying that I am physically abusive to the kids.
So they charge you with abuse to the kids. Now, what abuse? Did you define what abuse you are to the kids?
Did I find out what abuse is to the kids?
I mean, what kind of abuse did they say that you're doing to the kids?
The choking to my stepson, they said that I am very aggressive and that I have mental problems that I'm not taking care of, and that it's a direct threat to me. I've already did an evaluation. I passed. There's nothing. I did a drug evaluation on my own. I also passed. That said that I didn't need it. I did parenting classes, anger management classes on my own also. The only thing is that I am very blunt with my kids. I tell them as it is, and they want to go against and do what they want. And they think by calling bluff, they can get away with it. My daughter thought this was a little vacation for her until she finally realized this wasn't a joke anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were buying her stuff, this and that, and she thought it was all fun and games. And now my daughter's crying, Mom, this is not what I want. I'm sorry. I go, it's not always greener on the other side, you know? And it's not funny, you know. Sometimes some kids don't go back to the parents. This is not a joke. And now she realizes that, and she is praying. She says she's praying to come back home. And
have you asked the social worker for your plan?
Excuse me?
Have you asked the social worker for your plan?
Yes, they wanted me to do services. They wanted me to do a year away from my kids. They wanted them to go stay somewhere else. They wanted me to do drugs courses. They wanted me to do parenting, anger management. They wanted me to do inpatient for psychological. They were asking me to do all this stuff that even my lawyer said that they were asking for stuff that they didn't needed to be asked. And we rejected it. We said no.
Now, what about the programs, the anger management? You can't do those?
Well, I did it on my own, a 4-hour course. But like I told my attorney, I'm not guilty of anything. Like, I didn't do what these claims are. Why should I have to condone to services?
Well, you're guilty of one thing. You left your kids, and that's negligence, and you can't do that. You can't do that.
I mean, I would come visit them. I was only 3 blocks away. I would come and see them. I would go see what they were doing. I just wanted them to understand that a mom's not always going to be there. Like, not to take advantage. They thought I was like their maid. They thought I was going to be there whenever they wanted. I wanted them to feel that because I don't have. I mean, it sucks, you know. You try to do whatever you can for your kids, and then they just don't care. And that's what the 4 little ones are. They do. They're very just. It's me. That's what they want for themselves. And it kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I know as long as I did that wrongly, and I should have found a different approach. But I wanted them to understand a little bit, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, they're at a hard time. You have a 12, a 13, a 14,
and
a 16. And that is all in their teenage years, and they could be all over the place.
Yes, you're right.
By 18, they got to have parents that got to go through school by the law.
Yes. Well, the good thing is that put together between me and my husband, we have 10 kids. We do have 10 kids. And out of those 10 kids, we already have 3 graduated and 2 seniors right now that are about to graduate in a month. So these are the last 4 that we have left to raise, but the older ones, like I said, 3 of them already graduated. They're not in drugs, they're not in alcohol, they're really good kids, they have good jobs, work for the city. 2 of our girls live in Kansas, Missouri. And we have 2 seniors this year, 17 and 18. One's going to graduate from mechanic shop, and the other one's going for border patrol, already enrolled in college for next semester. And they graduate in June from Chapin High School. And then we have the 4 little ones just now that are giving us really, really hard time.
What would you like to do? I mean, what is your wishes?
My wishes is, if I would go for counseling with me and my kids, maybe find another coach, maybe we can talk to each other the right way or to understand each other, and do that. Meet a halfway with my children. I want them to know that this is the worst feeling in the world. I don't want your parents to go through this. I mean, there's other kids out there that really do need that help, that really need, CPS to look into them. My kids, I'm not a bad mom. They're not bad kids. We made mistakes. Things got out of hand. I want my kids home. This is not a home without them.
I agree.
This is not. It sucks. I mean, I was abandoned by my mom at a young age, and I promised myself I would never do that to my kids. And you know what? I'm not perfect. I have my flaws, and I clean up for my kids. But for them to say I'm a bad mom and take them away from me completely, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Just because you're a bad and you're a caseworker doesn't give you the right to know. You don't know the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Right. If you have a court date coming up, you can file a 388. It's a motion to introduce new evidence into court, like your classes you completed, your drug-free test, the test you took that shows that you don't have any mental problems, um, other things. You can enter that into court, and the judge has to hear it, and he can change the plan with that 3-8 motion.
Okay.
But that's usually filed by an attorney, because you have to not only file with the clerk, the dependency clerk, but you got to file all the other attorneys, the children attorneys, the attorneys for the social workers. All the attorneys got to be filed with that notice.
Okay.
And your attorney that you've hired should be able to do that. It's part of his job. What it does, it requests a hearing within 30 days. You have a court date. You can introduce that information and then confront the judge and say, Judge, um, I've done wrong when I left my kids for a couple days to think about it, but I want to make that good, but I don't want to lose my rights to my kids. And my kids and my husband all said things are not true and that you want to have them straighten out. It's a chance to tell your side of the story. Now, when you've had court before, were you allowed to attend the court?
Yes, I was allowed to attend, but the attorneys were the ones that talked. And
right.
To my surprise was that right off the bat, the judge said that CPS should have never been granted anything. That the affidavit was defective, the 262. They filed it 3 times until they got the 4th one right.
Wow. Jeez, 4 times.
Yes.
4 times.
And they got it right. But I found some inconsistencies in it. So that's when we had mediation last week on March 14th. We were on there for 4 hours, going back and forth. And I told him, I go, no, like, I don't think, if I want services, I'll do it on my own with my kids, not with CPS, because I don't trust them. I don't believe anything they have to say. Their intentions aren't good, especially how the caseworker, handled the situation. Sadly, they ended up kind of manipulating my husband to voluntarily relinquish the boys to his cousin.
Okay.
And he really got the documentation 2 days ago, and it sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What is your husband doing all this time? Does he want a divorce?
No, actually, we have been working on our issues. Right now, we've been talking the past couple of days. Like I said, we've been together for 10 years, and we're stronger together than separate.
Are you seeing a marriage counselor? Are you seeing a marriage counselor? Are you seeing a marriage counselor?
I already set that up. Yes. Yeah, I'm seeing a marriage counselor, and that's what I'm going to get evaluated for a mental.
Are you and your husband Catholic?
Excuse me?
Are you and your husband Catholic?
He is.
Well, you can go and see a priest. A priest will listen, and a priest is a good source. I'm just saying that, some people that are Christians belong to denominations that are not strong. I mean, I'm not saying all denominations are like that, but a priest, they do listen, and maybe they can offer suggestions to you and your husband.
That's what I taught him. I guess he lost faith, or he got mad at God when God took away his mom back in 2011.
Yeah.
But I told him he needs to let go of that. That right now it's not about that. It's about him being a father to his kids.
Right.
He kept them together. When the mom died, they were 6'3" and 6 months. I go, he did what many dads wouldn't. He kept them together. He was there with his boys. And for him to lose them right now like this, you can just imagine how he is right now, devastated.
Well, it sounds like you're agreeable to work out something. If you guys see a counselor, or you guys can see a priest, or it's usually best to see somebody who's schooled in therapy, or has done some schooling with social work, or has a background in marriage relationships, because what you have is probably a communication problem between you and your husband and your kids. I mean, there's also group therapy that you can get everybody together and sit around and talk about the issues.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people don't do that. I don't know why. It's like when I got involved in CPS, they try to alienate me from my wife, from my kids. They try to alienate the kids from the parents. And our case was uh, layman allegations, people that are layman like family, it was in-laws, that made allegations that weren't true. And they're not only against me, but they're against my wife, which doesn't make sense to me because it's her own mom saying stuff, her own dad, her own sister. And it woke her up because she found out that she was abused as a child. So it woke her up. She had a lot of things that surfaced. Go ahead.
And it's just because you try. I mean, nobody's perfect. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but there's always those families, even the ones that closest to you. It's so easy just with just a simple lie to say the parents doing this and that, and you lose everything. And some of them, when I looked up, 100% of the kids that are taken from Texas, only 33% go back home. Only 33%. So what happened to the rest of them? Just because somebody wants to be mean or malicious, and it's
well, I found out. I found out that the foster care people are in cahoots with the social workers of child protection services, and what that means is that if you want to adopt a child through normal channels, it takes years to adopt a child through normal channels. But somehow, if you volunteer as a foster care, you can adopt a child real fast. They do a quick training, and then they want you to take the child because they want to get the money to the child's 18. And so with a foster care, if you put a child in at 9 or 10 or 4 or 2, they're going to get a lot of money until they're 18. And some of the parents that are foster care don't have children, want children, but they don't want to do the long way of getting children, where there's background checks and there's a lot of interviews and stuff like that. Being a foster care, you're at the hands of the social worker. I had a mother on the other day that was a foster care mom, and she said that she was manipulated and that the foster care system is really, really, really bad.
Wow.
I mean,
you want to know the truth about my daughters? They're in I gotta say, they got lucky. They're in a beautiful home, in a nice big home. These foster parents have gotten them stuff that my daughters, like she said, really went to a store, bought them from Jordan. Nice shoes, didn't care the price. It's like a little mini mansion that it's the opposite of what we have. And my daughter says that's not happiness. And that's not what she wants.
No, they're buying all the things. That's why I think sometimes our daughter, but see what happened. She was 12 at the time, and the social workers told her to divorce us, the parents, and told her to change her name, and told her to seal her birth certificate. A 12-year-old doesn't know all those things, and there's no attempt by her. She saw her mother early on, but then soon that got stopped. She never saw me from day one, which I don't understand that at all. The sad part is now 24 years later, things are surfacing again. They're old. She's 21 now, but they're saying some other things that happened which were not mentioned before. So it's not a really good thing with us because, we would like to see our daughter who's 21, but she doesn't want to see either one of us.
She probably thought that you guys left her.
No, we never did leave her. We were there 100% of the time. I mean, you see, as in CPS, there's a lot of things you got to do. You have to ride buses. You have to work late. You have to pay for things. It isn't all cheap. And we went through a lot of, hell because we had to eat crow and do what they ask. And it's very humiliating when you know that there is no badness. It's like a nightmare. We got an agency that wants money. It's $1 billion business. And in my case, in Southern California, the director had a Taj Mahal of the building. It looked like the Emerald City in the Wizard of Oz. Very gaudy, very expensive. And I tried to talk to him. For a year and a half, I was fighting them. I was fighting them because they did things wrong. And I pointed out to them, and it made things worse. It wasn't until I got an attorney and I had Mr. Davis, he got 2 of our 3 kids back.
Oh, wow.
And see, we have 6 kids. We have 3 older kids that are doing quite well in life, but we have no touch with them,
Okay.
and we don't understand why. It's all because of this allegations by the in-laws. And 14 years later, it's we don't see three of our children, which is sad, really, really sad.
And you know what? It's like you said, as a parent, we I don't think there's a book or manual that can tell us how to be a great parent or bad parent. We learn as our kids are born. I mean, that comes naturally. I know that I was 17 when I had my first son, and my first instinct was I had to be better. But I was going to make mistakes along the way. And now that my son's an adult, he tells me, what I could have done differently or what bothers him. And I tell him, I go, you know what? I can't change like what things that happened already, but the outcome is that you're a good kid and you're not a victim of stuff. I never told him to give up. You start something, you finish. I've always wanted the best for them, for him to be the best. And this with CPS, I don't understand why they're just allowing to do this. And it doesn't just give them trauma at the moment. It's trauma for life. Like giving your kid ripped apart of you, someone that you're there giving them stability, love, and then for someone else to tell you you're bad and we're taking your kid away.
Yeah.
Some never know. It's a nightmare. Like I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to kill myself when I heard that my girls were on the plane. I thought that was it. There was 4 or 5 days I didn't sleep, I didn't eat. I was like in the zone. Like I didn't think it was real. But I know that I had to fight for my girls, and I had to do it because no one else was gonna do it. And it's hard. It's heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I definitely can imagine.
So, I mean, I really hope, this can stop. CPS can stop. I mean, if you're there for the good intentions, there's kids that really do need it. And there's some caseworkers that really do care in their hearts in the right place. But then there's some caseworkers that shouldn't be caseworkers. And those are the ones that's damaging the system and not caring and destroying families. This has to be stopped. I mean, if we don't stop it, we're all going to lose each other. I mean, and this is why society is the way it is, and it sucks. Sorry to say. But I'm glad that you were able to get your kids back. Hopefully, I'm able to get my daughters back this week too.
Yeah, I hope and pray that you do. But you've been through a lot. Is your husband still living with you, right?
Yes, he is. He just left right now. Like I said, he's like living in a daze. He hasn't seen and talked to his kids like I think in a week.
Wow.
He feels like why does he have to be supervised? You know what I mean? He feels like he wants to give up. I'm not gonna tell you it's bad. I see him really bad.
Well, he said he gave up his rights.
Yeah, that's what they told him. The CPS told him we'll give up and we'll close the case. Like you have nothing to worry about, and then you can get your rights back. That's what they told him.
Oh.
Like a shadow removal. I was like, no, they paid you. I actually told him, they paid you, and it's the attorney, his attorney. When he drafted the documents, he didn't even call them and tell them, hey, this is what we're going to put in there. This is what it says. He electronically signed his signature on his name and deed. He hasn't even sent them the documents. It was his cousin that sent him the documents. And my husband's like, well, you didn't even call me to go over it. You didn't even sit down and tell me what you would put in it. No, they just drafted the document and then electronically signed his name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it says it's a reversible document. And my husband's like, well, how did this happen? But yeah, the attorney hasn't even. I told him to file agreements with the bar association because they shouldn't have been done like that. They should have at least told him what they were going to put in there and if he agreed with it or not.
Well, you can make a complaint. You can make a complaint to the district attorney, and you can make a complaint to the social workers.
Consumer relations? Yeah, I did. I already found 2 of them.
Oh, okay. So you know about that then. Okay.
Yeah, I filed it when she talked to the kids without permission, and then I filed it that if the kids were in immediate danger, why did they wait? Why did it take them 5 days to pick them up, and then let my husband drive off with the kids?
Well, you can also complain to the judges too.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They need to be put in writing to the Commission on Judicial Performance.
Okay.
You can get the commission complaint form and write a letter describing the judge's conduct. Now you probably wondered, where can I get the form? You call the phone number for the State Commission on Judicial Performance. I don't know if that's in Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. I don't know where in Texas it would be.
Okay, I'll look it up. Okay, perfect.
It's where the State Commission is on Judicial Performance. Now, these complaints should include the name of the judge, the relevant dates, names of witnesses, and source of information.
Okay.
Do not send originals of the court documents. They may be attached to your letter to support the allegations. So your court documents, if you have any, can be attached to there for help.
Okay.
Now, also keep in mind that the commission does not have the authority to direct a judge to take legal action or review a case for judicial error, mistakes, or other legal garments. These functions are for the state appellate courts. So if you want to do appeal, you have to do appeal. If there's some judiciary thing they went against on you, like they didn't give you constitutional rights, they didn't give you your civil rights.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't know if that can help you any there, but
I will look it up. Thank you, I appreciate it. I mean, anything that I can get, help me out. I appreciate it. I mean, no information is not any good information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thank you, I appreciate that. And thank you for letting me.
Well, there's also, we still got some time left. Now, if you have concerns about the custody and visitation orders issued by family court, you want to direct them to the Family Court Service Office in the county where the orders were issued.
Okay.
Family court investigators, child custody evaluators, and family court mediators are available to dispute resolution in your county.
Okay, perfect.
And you can find the family court service by looking in the government selection on the telephone directory on the web. The web thing is probably www.courts.tx.gov. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can do two things. You're done wrong by the judge, you're done wrong by them.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just hope this is just like a lesson learned for all of us, be my kids, that you don't play with the system, you don't use the system, and you just don't lie to them, because sometimes things can get reversible, and
right.
they're not.
Well, there's a big exodus of children being sent from Atlanta, Georgia CPS to Texas because of behavioral health needs. There's actually a news article. If you type in Google Atlanta news and children being sent to Texas from Atlanta of behavioral health needs, and is written up in the news. News is a really powerful tool. If you got a good story, the news, will help you out and publish it, something like that. But also get your word out.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm actually looking at it. Georgia kids sent out Texas for behavioral health needs.
Yep.
Wow. Damn. Do they even let the parents know that the kids are out, or they have
no, it's like your case. See, CPS, the problem with CPS, they're too powerful. There's no watchdog. They don't have a board of directors, a board of supervisors. Their director, is in the money crunch anyway. He's part of the whole problem. So with that being said, you got a very corrupt agency that's strictly doing child trafficking, which is illegal, and doing alienation, which is illegal. Both those things are there. So
that's mean, that's even devastating. That's sad. I mean, all this time and they still get away with it. It's just getting worse. You would think they're there to help for the best interest of the child, and it's not even like that.
Do you know what an ombuds person is?
No, I don't. What is that?
Okay. Ombuds is a neutral party who helps resolve complaints or answers or questions about the CPS policy or practices. But I found out the ombuds is too close to CPS or DCFAS or whatever the acronym you use for child protection. So they conduct reviews and they're supposed to, investigate things from parents and stuff. But instead, I think they are just cahoots. There's Ombuds and there's also CASA, which is court appointed. Forgot what court appointed something service. There's CASA, Ombud person. You need to look at those and see if they can help you out there.
Thank you. I'm actually going to do that once I hang up with you. I appreciate that. This is very informative. This is very useful. I mean, I still haven't lost hope, so that's a good thing.
You definitely don't.
I don't want to have. I mean, right now, I'm not gonna lie. I grew up. My parents are Jehovah's Witness, and I mean, I know there's a God out there. I do have faith, but I really hope that in this one, good wins over bad, because that would really suck.
Right.
I really have faith.
Now, you want to look at the Welfare and Institution Code, Section 300B. That's where that's where the children come under. A child comes under the Welfare Institution Code of 300B.
Okay.
And that's where they have suffered or there is essential risk the child will suffer serious physical harm or illness as a result of the failure or inability of his or her parent or guardian to adequately supervise or protect the children. So I tell people there's a lot of information to help you out there. Also, you want to be looking at the 14th Amendment and the 4th Amendment. There's things in there that will protect you.
14th and 4th?
Yeah, 14th and 4th Amendment. So, and the Second Amendment, too. The Second Amendment. There's constitutional rights. See, you are supposed to be represented by a lawyer through all legal matters. They use a public defender, which is worthless. I mean, I just don't understand. It's like if you're broke and you don't have a home, how do you get help? I mean, it's like really hard.
And you're actually right. Like, when I see it out there, attorneys that they want to charge so much. I get it. That's their job. That's everything. But families that, like you said, don't have money to fight against like people like CPS. What happens? If they get thrown underneath, you know what I mean?
Well, they hang it out, meaning that they'd say yes or no answers to CPS. They don't add any information, don't talk to them. And if they tell them to take a parenting class, they do so. They tell them to take a program class, they do so, like anger management, those kinds of things. And if they have it listed or plan to do it, they will do all that. The thing they don't do is they don't give away their rights, and they keep insisting to see their children with visitations, whether it's in person or on cam. They definitely want to keep your children relationship with you, because if the children don't see you, then they lose touch, and they are brainwashed into thinking the parents are bad.
That's actually true. You know what? You're actually right about that. That's what I tell my husband. I go, you need to go with your kids, and he feels like he goes, but they don't want to come with me. They have that, the chance to say no. I go, the moment that you make them feel like you don't want them is the moment that they're going to feel angry towards you.
Yeah.
Even if it's supervised, you need to go see them. You need to call them. You need to bury love their mom. They don't need to lose their dad.
Yeah. Well, another problem that we have that we sometimes forget about is when we have arguments with our spouse or a partner or whoever that may be. When you have arguments, it can go one of two ways. It can either be physical, where you're hitting each other and hurting each other, or it can be verbal, where you're yelling or screaming at each other. Both cases are wrong to do in front of the children. Children do not need to
True.
see parents duking it out or hear them arguing or yelling at each other. It's wrong. I know it's hard because, parents are so caught up in their anger with each other, they forgot who's around them.
You're
And
absolutely right, and I agree with that.
yeah, they definitely have to, be careful. And what I tell them to do is a timeout. And the problem is when we do timeouts with our children, one mistake we always seem to do. When the timeout's over, you say, okay, your timeout's over. You should then talk to your child again and ask them, do you understand why you did the timeout? Do you know why I told you to do a timeout? You talk to them. A lot of parents do a timeout, 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes open. See you later. That doesn't really help the child or the parent. And I think if you do a timeout with a spouse, and it's gonna, then when you come back together, when it's over, you say, okay, I'm sorry. I know we got emotional, blah blah blah, but the reason why I did a timeout is I had to think of what you're saying, and the verbal argument in front of the children is not right. And a good spouse will recognize that. And you may be the person that eats a lot more crow than the other spouse does, but it depends on how much you love with your partner and everything like that. I mean, even my wife and I, we've been together for 34 years, and we'll still have arguments. We try not to do that in front of the kids.
So what I tell my husband is that I go, you know what? Every day we still learn something about each other. I don't think we fully get to know each other completely. And if we can stick out through the hard times, the good times will be even better. But it's a working thing. Our relationship never stops putting work into it because we can always better ourselves, just like being a parent to our kids.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. I go out to my kids. As long as I'm alive, I know I can better myself. I can be better tomorrow. I can't change, what's already done with, but I can learn from you and you learn from me, and we can help each other like that. That's the way I tell people. To the day I die, then I can't do nothing about it. But as long as I'm alive, I know I can do differently, and things can be different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your 34 years with your wife. I mean, wow. There's just a last on anymore.
Well, I know. See, I also had children late. I have two groups of children. I have my older children who are right now, they are 32, 36, and 42. And then there's our youngest children are now 18, 21, and 24. So it is a long time. So, well,
you never stop being a parent.
No, I got to this show. It's got about 3 minutes left. I'm going to wind it down. Don't want you to run off. You can still talk and still listen. But I want to thank you, Sarah, for taking your time to discuss and things like that. Also want to thank Eva Aguilar. Eva, if you want to be on the show, just write Grace at VincentWDavis.com and she'll arrange you to be on the show. Just pick out a time and a date, Eva. But I appreciate you on the show, and anyone else wants me on the show can do the same thing. Now remember, you need an attorney to deal with this, and right now our attorney Vincent W. Davis is offering a 30-minute consultation for $49.99. That's $50, but he'll give you a lot in 50 minutes. And just tell him that Bob Pace, when you call in, 888-6582, Bob Pace sent you. When you talk to Mr. Davis, say that Bob Pace sent you. That is a possibility. Now, there's two other rules. One is that you need a notebook, and you need to write down the date and time of the incident, the people involved in the incident, whether it's social workers, children, or whatnot, and then what the incident was about, and then the outcome. It's 4 parts, and you skip a couple lines, put the next entry in, and so forth. Reason why you skip is so you can add things later on. It's a notebook that you may keep for 1, 2, or 3, or how many years it may take you, but it's really, really important. And the last rule is that you do not talk to social workers or police. Do not surrender your children. Do not let them in your home. The only way they can get you into your home or your children is through a warrant by the court. And it has to be a legitimate warrant signed by a judge with the place where they are supposed to show up and who they're supposed to talk to and what the allegations are. So with that said, I wanted to tell everybody to have a really good, successful new year, much happiness, and God bless y'all. And this is